And welcome to another video. Let's talk about pot odds today. First of all, let's see what pot odds are. Afterwards, how you can activate them in Jurojin so you can know them all the time without having to do the math in your head. And then how you can actually use them to make educated, good poker decisions. I'm faced here with a decision by LoJack betting into me, who am the big blind. Technically, I have 5-6, so I can basically improve to a straight by hitting on the river a 4 or an 8, right? So he bet 40% pot, which is 5.6 blinds. This is DTO poker, by the way. We're training against a GTO bot, who is called like DTO. He is a single raise pot. He opened low jack, and we called in the big blind. So we need to hit one of our 8 outs, right? How you calculate pot odds is you divide the bet that you have to call by the total pot that will be down there after you call. So if we pull up calculator here, we'll see that the total pot is 19.7, right? And your opponent bet 5.6, which is included in that total pot. So you have to call a 5.6, right? You have to call 5.6, the 40% bet that he bet. And you have to call that into a total of 19.7, which is pot including his bet, plus the 5.6, which is 25.3, right? So that means that you have to call 5.6 divided by 25.3 will be your pot odds, which are 22%. Pot odds will tell you how often you have to be right to make a profitable call. Technically, if you call and you're 24% of the times ahead here, or 25% or 30, that'll be profitable. If you're under 22, that will be a negative EV, which means that you are losing money in the long run. You don't really have to be afraid of this math mumbo jumbo because you don't really have to do it in your head. You can activate an option in Jurojin and it will show you pot odds for every situation on every table that you play. In Jurojin, go to the overlay options and enable pot odds for every table. You'll see this cog light up and you can basically change some options like opacity if you want it to actually write pot odds, but I'd recommend this taken out and just making it bigger so that you can see it like easier. And you can also display it as a percentage or a ratio. I know some US people prefer a ratio because that's how they learned it in schools. EU mostly prefers like percentage. It's either way, just do whatever it works for you and then change the color as you like. Getting back to our straight improvement example, you can calculate by adding 2% per card the chances of you improving. So technically we have 8 cards on the river that will improve us to a straight, which are 4 8s and 4 4s, right? Total. And you just multiply that number by 2%, right? Because you have only 1 card to come. And that's going to be a 16%, which is lower than our pot odds. It doesn't really make it a unprofitable call in the long run because sometimes when you do hit the straight, you can make it so technically you can make more money off your opponent when he has like a set, for example, or a 2-pair. So pot odds is not something to be extremely like a live by and die by, but it's a very, very good indicator of what hands you should be continuing with and what hands you shouldn't. I've also taken the liberty of making a pot odds table here with bet sizes. So for example, if your opponent bets 1/3, it's going to be 20% pot odds that you need. If your opponent is going to be betting half pot, you're going to need 25%, and so on. This is 2x pot for like 40%. And then I've made a table of hand improvement percentages. For example, unpaired hand to a pair, right? You're on the flop, so you have 2 cards to come, turn and river. So then you're going to have 3 outs per card, right? If you have an ace, then only 3 of them can come down there, technically, right? Unless your friend is cheating with like another deck or something. So you have, let's say you have ace king and you're looking to hit a top pair. Then you have 3 kings, 3 aces, 6 cards. 1 card to come, right? Times 2% is 12%. 2 cards to come, right? Turn and river times 2% is going to be 24. Then you have pair to 2-pair or better, flush draw to flush, right? and open end straight draw to straight, gut shot to straight, set to full house in quads, flush draw plus overcard. It's some spots that I thought that you might be interested in. See that basically you can never fold a flush draw plus an overcard on the flop. I wouldn't even recommend almost always never folding flush draws on flops or open end straight draws. Don't do that. You're just, you're burning money if you do that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Good luck at the tables. Bye.